Hi guys, my name is Garrett. I own G.M. Jewelry. I'm just south of the square in Carthage. I am a professional jeweler, and I'm cleaning a piece of my equipment today, and I wanted to take this time to make a video that I've been meaning to make for a long time. And that is about kind of what you need to know as a consumer about buying jewelry, and these are things that I believe the retail chains don't want you to know. They won't tell you, or the salespeople in the stores themselves don't know. So basically, there's nothing in this world that's absolutely perfect, and jewelry is no different, and buying jewelry is no different than buying a car or buying a house. You don't buy a house without having it inspected or having it appraised or whatever. You don't buy a car without popping the hood or taking it to your mechanic or whatever, you know. And jewelry is no different, really, because I used to work at one of the larger retail chains in the mall, and we would get brand new stuff in from the manufacturer that already had to be sent out for repairs. It kind of blew my mind that brand new stuff wasn't ready to wear, and we had to fix it before we could sell it. So the first thing to know is that you need to know is what to look for. There are a few things. Well, first, if you're going to spend a lot of money on jewelry, you know, if you're buying an engagement ring or something this year, whatever, there's absolutely no reason you wouldn't go on Amazon or on eBay or something and buy a loop. Okay, this one has two different powers. It's like a 30 and a 60, and it has two little lights. It's like the deluxe model, and it was like $6, I think. You know, you can get just the regular small 10 power loops online for like $3 or $4 or something like that, and you need to go home and practice with it. Look at different stuff, you know, take something and figure out how to use that to look at jewelry. So when you go into the jewelry store, even mine, you know, because I'm a person and I can make mistakes, even though I try for my quality assurance to have much tighter tolerances. But something that you need to look for are cracks, okay? Because sometimes when the jewelry is cast, it doesn't quite cast right, and there can be cracks. There can be cracks, you know, let's pretend that this is a finished piece here. There can be cracks on the underside, where we call the gallery. There can be cracks in the shank. Just any small crack that you might find. Look at how it's constructed. Is it something that's going to last? Is the shank, which is the part that goes in your palm, is it nice and heavy? If it's not nice and heavy, if it's a teeny tiny little wire, it's probably going to wear out. Something to think about. What about your prongs? The prongs that hold your stone, are those big and heavy, or are they really teeny tiny? Because that's one way that big companies will save money, is they will shave metal off of those areas, making those smaller, making them lighter, so there's not as much gold in those things. So that as well is something to think about when you are buying stuff. Look at those, you know, look at those, and check all of your stones, you know. If you are sitting at the counter and you have an engagement ring, and you should pull this out and say, can I see it, you know, and look at it, and have a little pencil or a pen or something and wiggle all of the little stones in there and make sure they're all tight, because from stores like that, they're not always all tight. Make sure they're not chipped, make sure they're not broken, make sure that they are where they're supposed to be. These are things that will help you in the long run. things that people don't necessarily know about. You know, something else to mention as well, you know, if you have a bunch of stones like on the side or something, and there's only one prong on the outside of those stones holding it in, that's probably not a good investment for you to make, because once that one prong wears down, if that one prong wears down, if it snags, whatever, whatever stone was in there can be lost. So that's something else to think about. You know, are all of your stones secured in at least 4 places, I would say. Some designs only do 2, some designs only do 3. I really would recommend anything that's not a channel setting, anything with prongs, at least 4 on the stones, or 2 on one side, and then like a channel setting on the other, that kind of thing. So just things to think about as you're shopping and as you're looking at jewelry and different stuff. Things that you may not have thought about before. Just to check the structural integrity, check to make sure that there's no damage, all your stones are where they're supposed to be, they look right, as far as, you know, they're not set all kinds of crooked, and that kind of thing. So that really can help protect you as a consumer in an industry where the consumers don't have a lot of knowledge a lot of the time, and in the mall the salespeople don't have a lot of knowledge either, because they've never done the repairs. They've never they don't know what goes into sizing and tips and all of the different normal wear and tear repairs that go on. They don't know. So that's something to think about. And as always, if you guys have any questions or want some answers to anything, feel free to call me or text me, message me, comment on the video, whatever, and I will do my best to help you find the information that you need to be a knowledgeable consumer. So I appreciate you tuning into my video, and I plan on doing more like this, just kind of things you need to know and different stuff. So I appreciate it. Something that I forgot to mention before when talking about inspecting it for cracks, I have seen this happen several times, both as I worked in the mall and afterwards when people have messaged me and said, hey, this is what's going on. If you walk out, okay, so if you are inspecting your piece of jewelry and everything looks fine to you, or you see something that doesn't quite look right, but you buy it anyways, and you walk out of that store, 9.5 times out of 10, if you catch the cracks or something later and they get worse, or you thought, oh, they're not a big deal, and then they end up becoming something that compromises the wearability of your ring, you will be on the hook for that. The jewelry store will not take it back. They will not pay to fix it, because they will say, well, it wasn't like this when we sold it, because they didn't see it, or you didn't see it, or whatever it is, and then you will have to pay for it to fix it, or you'll have to buy a new one, and they won't do anything for you. So that's another thing to think about. If you feel kind of weird about it, don't buy it. Just like a car, just like a house. If you feel weird about it, I'm not sure that this is going to hold up, I'm not sure, whatever, don't buy it. Take some pictures if you can. Always ask first, because that's polite. Some people are kind of weird about it. And show it to somebody who is a jeweler or some sort of jewelry professional that you trust, that you know that they know what they're talking about, and see if that's a good buy. See if that is something that is going to hold up, if you're not sure. So yeah, just something else that I forgot to say that I needed to add, because I felt like that was really important, and I've seen people be taken advantage of in that type of situation with a big corporation, where the people in the store don't have any power to fix it, even if they want to, because the corporation says, no, that's not our fault, we're not going to pay for that. and there's really no recourse. There's nothing you can do because they're a big giant corporation and you're just a person, you know, and they'll just say, no, we're not going to do it. Sorry. And that's it. So keep those things in mind. Jewelry isn't something that you need to be scared of all the time. Just know what you're doing, you know. Don't like in anything else, just trying to be smart. And I appreciate you watching this video and trying to educate yourself to some degree. Because it will save you time, it will save you money, and it'll save you a lot of headaches sometimes if you're able to catch that stuff before it happens. So I appreciate it. I'll post a picture of my information, so if you guys have any questions, you can contact me directly. And like I said, I can try to get you the information that you need to be a knowledgeable consumer.